thousands of spiders. Guys, I can handle spiders in the house. Like, I've dealt with my fear of spiders in the house, but when there are that many spiders underneath the mulch, yeah, I was fighting the anxiety the entire time. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I am outside in my backyard, and if you can't tell from the video title, we are in fact harvesting potatoes today. And I don't know if this is going up before or after the garden tour, but as you can see, I am in a hoodie. I'm also wearing jeans, and you might be wondering why. So the potatoes are ready for harvest. However, every year when I harvest my potatoes, I always end up getting stung. At least 2 times, sometimes 3, sometimes 4. And I think it has to do with the mulch. When I move that mulch out of the way in order to get to the ground to dig up the potatoes, the ground smells very sweet from the mulch composting on top of the potatoes. So I came prepared this time. I am wearing a hoodie with a t-shirt over top as well as jeans. I have been stung through shirts before. I'm hoping this prevents that. Now, needless to say, if I do start noticing that I am being swarmed by too many bees, I will walk away and come back at a later time. It's not worth it. If you get stung, it's actually better to leave and come back later, because when you are stung, the bees actually release a pheromone, actually, I believe it's called, that actually attracts other bees. So if I end up getting stung during this process, I will be pausing and coming back and doing it some more tomorrow. So I am very nervous to go and harvest these potatoes. This is actually one of the reasons why I am debating on not doing potatoes next year. I have to mentally prepare myself to do potatoes because there are a lot of bugs when harvesting potatoes, and I almost always get stung, like I just said, 2 or 3 times, if not more, while harvesting my potatoes. And to me, it's not worth the anxiety. As much as I love homegrown potatoes, because they do taste different, it's not worth my anxiety. So this might be the last year that I harvest potatoes. I'm going to get in here and show you what we're harvesting and what we're not harvesting, because some of these aren't ready. Specifically the one in pots. You'll notice why. So let's get over here. So this one over here, this one, as you can see, is flowering. It has multiple flowers on it. It has flowered 2 to 3 times already, and that's the one that's in the pot. The pot is in there. It is clearly not ready, so that one is going to wait. I don't know why it's not ready. It has kind of died back once, and then but it didn't completely die back. It still looked very green. It did not look like these. This is what your potatoes are supposed to look like when they're dying back, when they're ready to harvest. It looked nothing like these. It actually looks like I might have a brand new potato coming up right there. But it looked nothing like these. They didn't look yellow. They didn't look like they were dying. And then a few days later, they flowered again. Literally, they have flowered. This is the 3rd or 4th time they flowered in the last month. So we are just going to wait and let those be. I also have some flowering in this back corner. Why are they not all harvesting in the same manner? I have no idea. So we are just gonna hop in here. You can see I have a whole bunch that are ready to harvest. Some of them have actually completely died back. So I'm going to very carefully move this mulch out of the way, just slide it off to the side, and then very carefully dig up the potatoes. So I'm gonna throw you guys on a time lapse because as you can hear, it is windy. So it's just gonna be easier to do the time lapse while I harvest. Enjoy! Well guys, it is several hours later after harvesting my potatoes and having a minor anxiety attack the entire time while I was doing it because there were so many bees and thousands of spiders. Guys, I can handle spiders in the house. Like, I've dealt with my fear of spiders in the house, but when there are that many spiders underneath the mulch, yeah, I was fighting the anxiety the entire time. So I did not weigh these, but I am going to show you. They're all on a single layer, so you can basically see all of them, considering the fact that I just dug up, like, I'm pretty sure it was about 30 plants. My yield was definitely not as good as it should have been. And this is one of the reasons why I am most likely not doing potatoes anymore. Potatoes, I have very clay-like soil, so the conditions are not right for them. If I do potatoes in the future, I will be doing them in buckets or bags because it's easier. There won't be as many bees and bugs killing me. And easier to harvest. They won't take up as much room, and overall it'll just be a better scenario. So if I do them, it'll be in buckets or fabric bags. I did not harvest any of the volunteer potatoes over in the smaller garden. I just did not have the energy. As it was, I got down to like five plants were left, and I almost said that's enough, because being in a fight or flight response for an hour and a half harvesting potatoes in hard clay soil, even with it being mulched on top, the soil is very much clay, and I can't just dig them out with my hands. I have to use a shovel. And there are some potatoes that I pierced that I have to use today or within the next 24 hours, which is not a big deal. I'll make some potato salad. Potato salad is one of our favorite things. Or I'll make them up into mashed potatoes, something. They will get used within the next 24 hours. But the rest of these will cure out here underneath a cloth in a single layer, so that way they aren't being exposed to the sunlight, because there are windows in this garage and all the things. So let me go ahead and show you guys the harvest. So in this little box, I have like 10 to 12 potatoes that I need to use today. I mean, I got pretty good sized potatoes, guys. Like, these good sized potatoes. Because of the fact that I do have clay soil, I did have to dig them up. So I did pierce a couple, and so they have to be used today. When they get pierced like that, they have to be used within 24 hours. And then we have box number 1. I should probably add this guy. This guy's got a pretty big hole, so I'm gonna add him to the box to be used today. I mean, look at this. Look at this, guys. Look. That's not a cut from my knife. That's a split. That is bigger than my hand. So that's a split that was from underground. That's not from my knife. So because of the fact that that hardened underground, it's fine not to be used today. There's another box. And another box. Now, you will notice that I have, like, that one right there. That's green, so that one won't get eaten. I do not eat my green potatoes if they turn green from being exposed to the sun for too much period of time. Then they get saved for the following year's potato planting. So I just counted this up, and from these plants, not including the volunteers and the one in the bucket, I have just over 100 potatoes. And considering I had a fairly easy time carrying one of these boxes in here, I'd say I probably have anywhere from 25 to 35 pounds of potatoes, maybe 40 pounds of potatoes. As I said, it's roughly just over, my hands are filthy, just over 100. There's like 110 or 112, something like that, potatoes in these boxes. So lots of potatoes, definitely a smaller harvest than I was expecting, considering I just harvested like 30 plants. So Exhibit A, why I'm rethinking future gardens, because potatoes do take up a lot of space. They are very much hands-off. Once you get them heavily mulched, you just forget about them. But the space factor and the factor that we really don't, like, we eat potatoes, don't get me wrong. Like, we go through potatoes. These will probably be gone before October. But considering I'm the only one that does the gardening, it's not worth the anxiety level for me. Being in fight or flight for an hour to 2 hours, harvesting potatoes is not fun. So as much as I love the treasure hunt part I enjoy. It's constantly being on my guard for centipedes and spiders and bees. I was dripping sweat within 15 minutes, and it was only 70 degrees outside, guys, because I had to wear jeans, a shirt, and a hoodie to prevent myself from getting stung. And yes, I did find stingers in my hoodie after I took it off. So they didn't get through the hoodie, but so that is my potato harvest, guys. I know this seems like it's a very negative video, but it really isn't. I want you to think about your garden. I love potatoes, and if I was doing potatoes in a different scenario, possibly in a raised bed garden or in fabric bags or buckets, it would be a different story. But because I have clay soil, I think it's inhibiting the growth of the potatoes. Harvesting is not a fun chore for me when it comes to harvesting from the ground because of bees and bugs. If it's a raised bed, that'd be a different, it wouldn't be the same. There wouldn't be as many bugs and there wouldn't be as many bees because I would be piling dirt on top of the potatoes as opposed to a hay mulch. They would have a slight hay mulch, but nothing like what I have out there. I had 4 to 6 inches of mulch on top of that when I originally did it. And it come back to down into about, I'd say 3 to 4 inches of mulch. So do not take this as a negative video. Change in your garden is going to happen. You're going to find out what you like and what you don't like. Potatoes are one of those things that I just don't like harvesting from the ground. So that is going to be my pivot for next year. I will probably do an entire year of harvesting from buckets and fabric bags, which is not a problem. The only difference is I'll be spending more money on potted soil. That is the only difference. So I'm going to have to debate on whether or not my homegrown potatoes are worth potting soil. So if you guys have watched this far, let me know down in the comments. Do you grow potatoes? What's your preferred method of growing potatoes? What do you plan on doing in the future for potatoes? Have you found any tips or tricks with potatoes? Let me know down in the comments. What are you growing? Why are you growing it? And do you enjoy it? That's the thing, because if you're not enjoying something, that's my biggest thing, guys. I like gardening. I really do. This part of particular gardening, digging up potatoes, one part of it is fun for me, the other part of it is not. So I'm moving into what I prefer, so that way I still enjoy my gardening. It is very important that I enjoy it. It is a meditative, peaceful time for me, and I want it to keep it that way. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share if you haven't already, so that we can grow the friend family. And we will see you in the next video.